Welcome to Google for Real Estate. I'm Derek Bixler, real estate agent, outdoor adventure sportsman, and Google marketing geek. I got to change that to local. I'm going to do it right now. Local SEO geek, marketing geek, local SEO geek. And I'm also kind of changing it to local SEO and reputation management. So expanding a bit, and if you've been following me or things I've been talking about, that's along the same lines of everything I've been talking about. It is Google still, biggest share of search, and especially local, as you'll hear some of the tidbits today, especially in local. And with ChatGPT now, Google's still in the game. They have more information on local stuff. They're still the trusted source for local searches. So Google's still the one, but we got to expand. As I've been saying, we got to get reviews on Zillow and have our Facebook up to snuff, and our Yelp and our website and all the things. So it's just, I'm going to change it to local SEO and reputation management. And, the local SEO part of it is kind of the ranking and doing all the things, or showing up when people ask for a thing, and then maybe you can get new business, people that don't know you already. So that's the local SEO part, which includes Google, like I said. But then the reputation management part is the part that everybody kind of forgets about. But this is the part when they type you in to see if you're okay to work with, what does it say? So local SEO and reputation management geek, let's get into it. Kind of already did, I guess. I do have a bunch of news and tidbits to go over, a few kind of important, at least two really good ones that are good tidbits to take away, and some other stuff. And of course, I'll do any Ask Me Anything or any sharing of wins or any of this stuff. So I guess I'll take a pause and check it here live and invite anybody up that I didn't invite already. Come up if you want to. Oh, I should make somebody a monitor. Yeah, a monitor. A moderator. Kristen, moderator. Kristen, on the podcast tomorrow. Is today Wednesday? Tomorrow. With all this crap going on. Yeah, not crap, but with all this stuff going on, I forget what date is. Yes. And I will make a reel, hopefully, at some point. That usually drops afterwards, whenever I have the time. I've gotten it down to about 2 hours. I can make the reel. The first one, once you get a system, you can do it faster. The first time, I don't even want to say how many hours it took me. One more. Did I move? We got a few moderators. If you ladies see anybody that needs anything, feel free to bring them up. While I am looking at my screen and I see Kim Dunnigan down there. Kim, you need to check your settings in your Google business profile. I'm telling her that because I'm still manager of her profile, and I got an email that things need to be checked. And if you get that, I actually posted about it yesterday. I blocked out her information and stuff. Kim came up. Or no, you didn't. Yes, you did. Welcome. If you get an email that says, please check your settings and confirm that they are correct, that's not a good sign. That means Google, you haven't been in your dashboard lately, and Google's not sure if you're still existing or if your information is still correct. So if I see those emails come in, I know that they haven't. I'm a bad realtor. I'm going to get on that today. Literally, all you need to do, and I do this weekly, and this is a good lesson for everybody, which is why I brought it up, and Kim's a great realtor, and whatever. Nobody does the things that I do, so you're not special or worse than anyone else. But I literally, every client or weekly, I go into all the profiles that I manage, and the Edit Profile tab in your dashboard, and the Services tab in the dashboard. The Edit Profile tab is more important, but also the services ones you want to check too. So I literally click on it. It'll open up like where you can change your name and the location and stuff, and you're not changing anything, but you're just opening it so that they have record. I've been to my dashboard, I've clicked on my main settings, and then I kind of just scroll down through them all. Sometimes there are suggested changes. If that's the case, that's not good to let sit in there. So scroll down through, see if there's any. It'll say like the following change has been suggested by Google or users or other sources. Usually the other sources are it scanned your website and your website talks about something, so they want to change it. But anyway, you want to, even if there aren't any changes or anything, you want to have a record that you're routinely going in there, clicking on that edit profile button and scanning your settings, so Google knows, hey, they just clicked that yesterday or 5 days ago, and so we know that that phone number is correct and we can trust this business fully. And if it goes so long that they need to be like, hey, you still alive? Is this stuff right? That's probably not a good sign. So just weekly, I do it at least once a month. I would think that should be easy enough, but it is super easy. If you just have the checklist of your ongoing best practices for the Google Business Profile, which you can reach out to me, I can easily send you. Once you do it a bunch of times, you should be able to do it in 15 to 30 minutes, maybe even 5. I bet I could do all of them in like 5 minutes if I really like hit a timer and was really trying and had everything out. But part of that is just clicking that edit profile tab, just quickly scrolling it all the way to the bottom. Also, I usually stop at the special hours, because the special hours will have the upcoming holidays 60 days before a holiday. It'll say in there, hey, are you open on this holiday? You always want to be open on holidays until it becomes a problem, and it never is. And if I get a listing call on Christmas Day, either I just won't answer it or I'll answer it and get a listing, and that'll be fantastic. So I would be open every single holiday for realtors anyway. Other businesses might vary. So that might be one spot where I'm purposely stopping and checking to see if there's a new holiday to say yes or no to. But other than that, if nothing's changed, I'm just clicking edit profile, and then I'm scanning down through, just literally very quickly scrolling it, making sure there's nothing wrong, and then getting rid of it. And then I do the same thing on the edit services tab, which is less involved. It's just a list of your services. And again, sometimes there are suggestions, and usually it is they scanned your website and you talk about drone photography a lot, so we want to put drone photography as one of your, or staging, or if you have rentals turned on in your IDX feed, it might say, hey, we need to put rentals on. And if you say no, you can say no to what they want to add. You say, no, I don't want to add those, especially not rentals. If you don't remove that from your IDX or from your website, it's going to keep scanning it and bringing it over. So the edit services tab, also, you want to click on, make sure there's no suggested changes. I won't go through the best practices of how to set that up, but those are main settings. So those two things, the edit profile tab and the edit services tab, those are all the main settings. Click on those two, scan them quick, make sure there's no issues. And that's really all they want regarding that. And if you do that once a month, I do it once a week, but once a month would probably be sufficient. At minimum, once a quarter, but you should be able to, if you're getting reviews and replying to them, if you're adding photos routinely, if you're adding updates or doing anything else on your Google Business Profile that you should be doing, then you're going to be in your dashboard anyway. It's easy just to click on those two tabs and real quick just scroll through it and make sure everything's good. So Kim, thanks for being the guinea pig, and others. There were many others that I got emails about that for. Yours just happened to be the one that I screenshotted and used for my post yesterday.
I've done it. I've updated it. And Daryl, you just said something about suggested changes or something needs up. You said something. I was updating while you were talking, and I'm like, what the else did he say?
Yeah, those two tabs, the edit profile tab and the edit services tab,
okay.
Those two sometimes I have my computer on dark mode, so my colors are different. It's like black with background with blue, or it might be red if it's something really bad that was rejected or something. But usually it'll be a blue or a red, and then above it, it'll have a little message that says, the below changes have been suggested by Google or other sources or whatever it says. It is possible that it could be somebody goes to a profile. You can edit other people's profiles, suggest an edit, and then if the owner doesn't say boo, then it will probably take effect. So there's those kind of things too. But usually with realtors, that kind of stuff's not happening. That's more in like cutthroat garage door. That seems to be a very cutthroat business for local SEO or something. Competitors fighting against each other and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, just make sure if it's not screaming something at you in there, then you're all good.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. And anybody else?
I'll be your
Go
guinea
ahead.
pig anytime.
Awesome. And hit up Kim if you need a realtor in the Carolinas. Right? Do I have
Yes,
that right?
you got that right. And Kristen, too.
Yes, yes.
Hey, good morning, Dad.
And if you're not,
I'm so sorry.
go ahead. Yeah, go for it.
Good morning, Derek. This is Jacqueline Syracuse from the New York City suburbs, upstate New York. Thank you so much for the content so far this morning. I have a question for you. I don't know if you've covered this previously. If so, I apologize. What is your take on posting blogs? Where, when, how often, size? Yeah.
So blog writing in general, it's good. More words on a website is better. More pages, more words about specific things. If you can keep it niche and really about one thing, or don't stray too much from topics. And it's pretty easy for us because we're real estate agents, so it's going to be all about real estate. But if for local SEO, you would probably, like, my Google business profile is located in Carlisle, and that's the city I focus on. So I want to primarily talk about Carlisle, or the most content that I make would probably be centered around Carlisle and not the other cities that I serve or whatever. But yes, in general, more pages on a website, more words, more, assuming they're all structured properly, is good. However, I've heard people also say that blogs are where content goes to die, because they are timed, there are dates and times on them. So all the search engines and everything that would care about your words and the pages, they won't care if people don't care. So if you could write blogs all day long and do one every week, perfectly keyworded and stuff, but if you're not driving traffic to it, either purposely sending emails, say check out the new blog, or social posts, check out the new, promoting it and getting people to look at it, or the SEO might work at first or something and it puts it up there, but then if nobody cares about it and they don't read any traffic from anybody caring about it, it'll just go die, and a lot of times get de-indexed and not even be in the index to begin with, or it'll be shuffled to the bottom or whatever. So blog writing, important? Yes. Do you want to go crazy with it? Probably not. Again, the most beneficial things would be, especially for real estate, would be tools and resources are always good, and those are the best performing ones. On mine I have one called, like, the lowest, I think this is my best performing page still, the lowest tax rates in central Pennsylvania or whatever I call it. And then I do 2 counties on that page, and I update it every year, and Google likes current stuff. And if it has a record of, like, a page and it's been updated and you updated it again, and all my photos and stuff on there are labeled and keyworded correctly and everything, it's an actual good resource if you were trying to research that type of thing. So things like that are kind of tools. What are the other ones I have? There's another good one. I forget what it was, but also talking about the area and area guides and that kind of thing. One example would be, or mechanically how to build it, you want it all to be interconnected. Also, when you link internally, like your pages link to other pages on your website, that tells Google and other crawlers that page is important. So you want to be linking back and forth to your pages. Those are internal links. If you hear people say that, you want to be internal linking. Also, if it's somewhat important, if I did the lowest tax rates one again, I probably just would have made it a page on my website. A blog post and a page are very, very similar, but slightly different, and the crawlers kind of see them differently or know that they're different or whatever kind of. Very, very similar. But I've heard people say that if something's really important, it should just be an additional page on your website. And then you should be linking to it and putting it in menus where appropriate and whatever. So if I did that lowest tax rates again, I probably would not make a blog post. I would make like a resources page in my menu and then have just regular pages off my website from there. So resource stuff, great. And build it like that it's really actually a good resource. And I can send that to if I have somebody relocating, I send them that link, and that also shows Google that, people are going here and they spend time on this page and stuff. And it's not like I get millions of views on that page or something, but more than the others for sure. So resources, and then you can also use those resources. And think about, again, don't write it with ChatGPT. Make it an actual good human. If a human came to this site, would it, or AI too, but think about human, because that's what the AI is going to care about too. The actual good resources, and give all the information and links, and even link out. Don't be afraid. You want external links too. If you talk about a city, you might link out to Wikipedia. You know how there's a blue word that links out then to the Wikipedia that talks about the thing. Think about any blog that's hardcore blog that you read. There's little blue links on all kinds of words all over the place. Some of those go to internal pages, and some of those go to other resources. So you want to do all that stuff in there for sure. So resources, and then also kind of flywheels or webs of content, so to speak. So an example would be on my homepage, I have service areas section, and then it says Carlisle, Boiling Springs, Harrisburg, whatever. For the Carlisle one, and this is still under construction, if you click on the Carlisle one, it'll go to a page. And again, I'm not making it blog form, but blogs, web pages, kind of interchangeable. And if it's some kind of like pillar thing that's going to be a pillar thing, probably just make a page and connect them all. You go to a page that's all about Carlisle, and then that's got a bunch of headings that's like location details, neighborhoods, amenities, and whatever else, attractions, entertainment, whatever all the headings are. And then there's a brief, I'm still working on this page, a brief kind of description, some words, and then eventually there'll be maybe some photo or two or some videos or links and things out to things. But really, each one of those sections is going to lead them to another page that's all about that. So the location short section on that Carlisle page will click out to a whole page about the location with tons of resources and maps and all the things, hopefully eventually, and videos and photos and all the stuff. And then even on that location page, then if I'm talking about certain neighborhoods, then I'm going to link out to Meadowview Estates and a page just on Meadowview Estates, or out to Upper Lowland Township or townships and stuff. So you see how it kind of, it's like a family tree, I guess, where it just spreads. You have one pillar content, which would just be the Carlisle, Pennsylvania page that's kind of all encompassing, and then links out and gets them to the location and to entertainment. And then the entertainment one could all obviously link out to other pages about restaurants, about the other stuff, all linking back to itself. And all those downstream pages could also be linking back and over to other pages or blogs or however you structure it too. So yes, it's good if you do it correctly and you want to think about what you're writing, and you need to get traffic, some amount of traffic to it for it really to work, or else a lot of it's kind of going to waste. And also, again, human written, like it doesn't mean you can't use AI to structure it, or like give me bullet points or how to structure a page about Carlisle and give me all the headings and H1s and H2s and all that kind of stuff. But then you should be writing the content about it, or at least like it gives you a start, and then you finish it. And you want to have links out to resources, like awesome link. Like I got a link to the actual millages. I got a link to the Cumberland County website. I got a link to the Dauphin County. I got links to all kinds of stuff on that page. You can download a PDF of the entire millage rates from the current one. I think I have the old ones in there too, possibly. I think I added that it even compares it to last year, so it'll tell you on there, like if it's up or down from last year, maybe. But just think, and if you're updating it every year, like a resource like that, you can add to it every year too and make it better. Well, this year I'm going to add saying whether it was up or down from last year. It's kind of hard. It's easier each year because then when you go to change it, you just see and you just say up this much and you don't have to do much work. The first year, a little bit harder, but that kind of answers the question, I guess. SEO, that's basically a general SEO question, kind of, which is a very involved answer, as you can tell, and I could probably talk a lot more on it, but does that give you kind of an answer or idea? Whoever asked that, I forget who that was. Jackie, did she drop out already? She dropped out on my answer. All good. All right. Anybody else have anything? If not, I'll hit up my notes here. This was from the Near Memo, one of the shows that I watch, gurus that I follow. They said that there are currently 500 million. That's million, that many zero. Yeah, 500. Yeah, I guess that's right. 500 million. Did I mistype this? Seems like a lot. 500 million local guides now. Local guides are when you give a review or add photos to somebody else's Google business profile. That is you as a local guide or acting as a local guide. I don't know if you have to specifically sign up to be a quote unquote local guide to actually be one. If you just do the things, are you automatically a local guide? I don't know that. I think you are, but anyhow, 500 million, if that's correct, if I added the proper amount of zeros when I typed that in, but it was 150 million or 15 million or whatever the actual number is in 2021. And thanks to them, Google has the most local information of anyone out there. Google Maps and Google Business Profiles have provided, and local guides have provided Google with more local information than anyone out there, far exceeding anyone. And as you will learn right now, even ChatGPT is now using Google more heavily, including Google Business Profiles. It says here that the ChatGPT now using Google's search rather than Bing. Oh yeah. Recent studies show that 90% overlap with a Google search. So they would do a search for something on Bing, and then I guess they would do it on Google, and then they would compare the results, and they could tell that kind of ChatGPT was searching on Google and then pulling the stuff over. So in the study, and I think I've quoted in other rooms 60% overlap because that's what I remembered, but here in my notes it says 90% overlap, which is obviously a huge number, almost all of them, and then only a 30% overlap with Bing, and Bing used to be the primary one. So ChatGPT kind of seems to be separating from Bing somewhat and using Google more. ChatGPT and Google just did a deal, well, OpenAI, I guess, but maybe the ChatGPT division of it, I don't know. And Google just did a cloud deal for their cloud computing, Google's cloud computing, to do computing for ChatGPT. So there's that deal happening. And then ChatGPT and Perplexity are coming out with their own internet browsers. So Google has Chrome, and what do they have? They've got a big 60% market share or something like that as far as browsers go. Comes along with Chrome and everything that everybody does on everything on the internet. And they have Google Analytics that's on like every website everywhere, tracking everything. But the browser specifically, they've got Chrome, and now ChatGPT and Perplexity and others, I think, apparently are coming out with their own internet browsers, obviously to do the same thing, bring you more into their world and collect all that data, traffic, website clicks, etc., even scrolling and where people dwell on pages and all the stuff that it can figure out. And if it's on your mobile phone, it can probably get data from all your apps and everything that you do, just like all the apps can, I'm guessing. So that's interesting. On another show I watched, Zanet Design, they were talking about how Google wants video on Google Business Profiles now. I've been kind of talking about it, that they've been showcasing it a little bit more lately, and I think it's more important. In the past, it just it just sucked. It would always get rejected, and it wasn't showcased at all, and it was just terrible to even try to do anything with. But now they showcase it a little bit better. The user interface for video is slightly better, still not great, but a little bit better. So they were actually, but this is the first time I've heard somebody say that Google wants, and that's the words that were used, Google wants video on Google Business Profiles. So if somebody says something like that, I'm definitely taking note and going to take action on that if it's somebody I trust, like this person. And it makes sense anyway, and I've been saying it anyway for a while. So there are two places you can put video on your Google Business Profile. You could put it in your Photos section, which is more restricted. 30-second max. I have seen videos on people's profiles that are longer than that, but there must have been a time when they let stuff, or it's a glitch, or I don't know. But the stipulations still say 30 seconds, some resolution, and some megabytes or whatever, but 30 seconds is the main one that people usually need to worry about. So photos in the videos in the photos section are good, and you should have been doing that already. But make sure they are showcase quality. You're not just dropping in every post from every day, or your TikTok download with words all over it, and it's grainy, and it has a TikTok logo in the corner, and it's vertical, which really isn't that great. I would go wide or square probably for the Google Business Profile. Not that you couldn't do vertical. It will take it and be okay. But you're not just dropping any old videos in there. They need to be kind of strategically selected, because you need to think of them as kind of a 30-second commercial. People are going to see your Google Business Profile once, twice, maybe 3 times, like in their entire life. Probably only once or twice. Once when they find you, if that's how they're finding you, and then once, hopefully, when they go to give you a review, and then never again, or maybe when they go to sell their house, they Google you and see it again. But it's not like it's something that people are seeing a million times. So you need to think of what's on your Google Business Profile, including these videos, as kind of like little commercials. So first off, delete any crap and, grainy, doesn't make sense, doesn't depict real estate very well. Any restaurant kind of reviews or about town, it needs to be very, very specifically real estate related and depict real estate very, very plainly and clearly. So good placeholders without having to make some purpose-built thing would just be video tours. Maybe think about what's the best video tour, fanciest house you've got a tour for. Go get that one, trim it down to 30 seconds, drop that one in there. Aerial videos are very catchy. Also, they depict real estate very, very obviously. So you could just drop a couple nice video tours in there to have some motion and some video in your photos section. And then if you wanted to make something purpose-built, then, testimonial videos, those get flagged or rejected a lot, but I have gotten them through, and they're fantastic as far as conversion goes. So testimonial videos, even one of mine is just a slideshow of testimonial or client pictures, and there's a word on top of the image: diligent, professional, friendly, works hard, or whatever. 30 seconds worth of a slideshow. You can even do a slideshow maybe of houses you've sold, or don't have sold on it, just a slideshow or something. That would give motion. It depicts real estate very clearly. You could put words on top of it, obviously. Another one I made was a supercut, or is a supercut of Carlisle stuff. So like a clip of the Carlisle Theater, a clip of Carlisle Rubber Factory, a clip of Dickinson College, a clip of this, a clip of that, a clip of a neighborhood, supercut of Carlisle, and then on top of it, it says Carlisle listing services and buyer agency services, or something to that effect. I actually don't like it, and I'm about to redo that. But something like that also. So think about it as, and there could be some talking head stuff maybe. Usually they're not going to hear it, how it's structured when they see the videos. Usually it's on mobile, and sometimes on maps it'll autoplay. Sometimes in the browser it will autoplay, but it will not have sound. They would have to click on the video, and then they would have to click a second time to unmute it. So talking head stuff, I don't know. It does represent you and give them an idea of who they would be working with and stuff, even if they don't hear the sound. And if they want to click, they could hear you. So maybe some amount of it is okay. It would be nice if the talking head ones also depicted real estate very, very plainly and clearly, like you were doing it in front of a house or something like that, not just in your office in front of a blank wall talking head, or in your car or something. It's more of a formal talking head with real estate in the background or something. But yeah, my ears perked up when they said Google actually, they want it. So now it's not a question of kind of, it's neat and we like how it displays and it can help you convert. Now it's like we have to, and it's already been for my personal self, we have to. But so get some videos, the photos section I just talked about. And then in the updates, you can also add, when you click add update and do the updates or posts, people call those, you can put videos in there. I forget what the steps are. I never do it because like they always get rejected for me for some reason. And again, there's not much reason to kill yourself posting a million times or having fancy posts really like other platforms. So I never pay any attention to it. The photos section definitely do, and it wants stuff there. The updates, I'm gonna have to play around with the updates a little bit more. So those are the two places you can put your videos. Photos section, which I talked about extensively, definitely should be doing that for sure. Should have been doing that yesterday. And then updates, maybe start doing that a little bit more. And those are the only two places you could put videos on your Google Business Profile. This next couple things are from the Search Engine Roundtable. Does anybody have any questions about video at all? Cool. Search Engine Roundtable, Google revenue. They said the Google revenue was up. I don't follow stock prices or revenues or any of that kind of stuff, but they mentioned and they always talk about it. And it seems like they're always saying Google's revenue is up. And they said that it's at fourth quarter levels. I guess it's matching or beating last year's fourth quarter, which is usually the highest, I would guess, because of shopping and Christmas holidays and everybody running ads. Most of their revenue comes from ads in search. So Google's revenue is up. Their stock prices are up. Google's still doing fantastic despite all the competitors or the ChatGPTs or whatever's happening. And as we stated, ChatGPT is using Google now even more than before. Local services ads, messaging, leads cost more. So in the terms, and I actually didn't know this, but in the terms and conditions for local services ads for messages, it used to say that they will cost 50% of the corresponding phone leads. And how they figure out what's 50%, I guess they would say, if this had been if they had called, it would have charged you this, so we're going to charge you half of that for this message lead. So it used to say 50%, but now they've changed the verbiage to lower than corresponding phone leads. So lower, so instead of 50%, it just says lower. So lower could be 1/8% lower. So it could cost more is what they're saying, and probably will cost more, the messaging side of local services ads, which really don't happen all that often, and a lot of times they're spam, although people do get good messaging leads. I sold 2 properties, kind of overlapped last year into this year, off of a messaging lead that I actually didn't get charged for. They didn't charge me for it. And it clearly said in the message, I have properties in Steelton to sell. And I answered back, great. Usually coming to say whatever, I think I asked for the phone number. Great, I can help you. What's your phone number so I can hit you up? Because it was a message and you don't have to put your phone number in there. I had to message him within the thing, I think. But it was a back and forth like 4 times, and clearly a good lead that they should charge me for. Anyhow, messaging, good ones do happen, but sometimes that can be a source of spam. But they will likely cost more in the future. And attributes sometimes now show whether they have been confirmed by consumers. So attributes are what they call, if you were in your Google Business Profile and you clicked the Edit Profile tab and scrolled all the way to the bottom, you would see kind of your things. Do you have on-street parking? Do you have a wheelchair accessible restroom? Are you LGBT, LGBTQ friendly? Do you require an appointment? Make sure that says no. That people say yes to that for some reason all the time. Make sure that says no. What languages do you speak? Are you women owned or Latina owned or veteran owned, or I forget all the other ones. So, and different businesses have different attributes that can be selected. So, and if you don't have a physical location, you will have less attributes. Obviously, you won't have parking attributes, blah, blah, blah. But all the way at the bottom, all those things down there that you select that you have or don't have are called attributes. And they are saying, and I haven't seen this in the wild, but they're saying that they're now showing whether they have been confirmed by consumers. So I guess if it said on-street parking available on my Google business profile, and Google said, hey, person, and maybe some of you have experienced this, hey, do you want to answer some questions about this place that we think you just went to? And you say yes, and then it starts asking you questions. Some of those questions are possibly things that the business said they have on-street parking, but Google wants to confirm it with somebody that actually went there. So do they have on-street parking? And the person says yes, and they were saying that now Google's going to show whether somebody has confirmed it. So I guess, again, I haven't seen it in the wild, but I guess next to your on-street parking, yes, check mark on your Google business profile, it'll say next to that, confirmed by customers or something to that effect. Next stuff was on the near memo again, but a different episode. Google Business Profile alerts and notifications will now go to all managers and owners. Apparently they didn't before. I thought they did. I always experienced that they did. Like if I got something, my clients were also getting it. And I know because we've sent things to each other saying, hey, I'm handling this, and hey, what is this? Overlapping to each other. But anyway, news to me if that wasn't the case. But now they're saying the Google Business Profile alerts and notifications will go to all managers and owners. And the way they were talking sounded like it only went to managers before and not the owners, which seems like a ridiculous way to do it. So I don't even know. That's not what I had experienced, and I don't know why they would set it up that way. But that's what they said. So going to everybody now, hopefully. And sometimes those things go to spam, so sometimes you are getting your notifications, but it's going to spam because you never click on them, and Google throws their own emails in promotions or whatever folder they want to. Or Outlook if you have a different email browser or server or whatever. Ask for me, call for me is expanding. So they already had this feature that on a Google business profile, there would be a little feature where you could say, ask for me. I think that's verbatim what it says. Basically, Google calls the business or could message them or email them possibly, I think. But I think it's supposed to be a call, a robocall, an AI call, calling the business and finding out things for you. So you say, I want to know how much concrete costs for a driveway per square foot or whatever, and I want to know what the availability is for next month, and then the thing will call the concrete place or places and ask, and then it will report back. I think in most times it's going to be calling a bunch of places, and why wouldn't you? And I think Google prompts people to possibly to say, hey, do you want us, we're not just going to do it with Sam's Concrete, do you want us to go check out these other 3 with lots of reviews? And you're going to say, yeah, why not? Yeah, I want more bids or want to get a few different estimates. So the thing will go out and do that for you and then come back. When they were talking, they were saying, I think, a good portion of them, a good at least half, I think, don't quote me on that, but a good portion of them, the business didn't even reply, or maybe they didn't get the call or answer the call, or maybe they answered the call and didn't buy it, or maybe it was a message or email that they didn't take the time to do or whatever. So if it's expanding, that's just another reason we already should be answering our phone, especially if we're in the Google and local SEO game, or in any game where you're trying to get random leads or calls, and we really all are in that game. You got signs out with your phone number on it. You got other things out there with your phone number on it. So even more reason now to answer your phone, because even if a person is shy and doesn't want to call you, or they're at work and can't call you, or whatever, it's going to be even more easy to just click in ChatGPT or in Google to ask for me or whatever and say, hey, go figure it out for me. Go talk to them for me. I don't even have to talk to them. So you got to be able to answer the phone and get back to them, because it's probably doing it with a bunch of others simultaneously, and then going to go back to that person and tell them, and you won't be in there because you didn't answer and didn't get back to them. So answering the phone, and if it becomes messages or emails or something, have to watch that obviously. But I think it's mainly a call. People are using ChatGPT for local search. I guess a study had shown that ChatGPT is on the rise for local search. Again, Google still has the majority share of that search, but they also said that people don't trust ChatGPT. Well, they do kind of, but the tendency is they go to ChatGPT, ask it, and then they go to Google, which they trust a little bit more, and vet it and look at stuff on Google, and then they convert from Google a lot of times. And again, as we've talked about, ChatGPT is using Google's index, Google's search, Google business profiles more for things. So, and I don't know, maybe that's because I think Google puts efforts in place to block other AIs from using their stuff, because obviously that's hard-earned, worked stuff. But so maybe they turned off things that were in place, and that's why ChatGPT is just able to now, or I don't know if they purposely switched, or I'd be interested to know why the switch has happened. Maybe with the cloud computing deal, they're like, all right, you can use our cloud computing. We'll give you this deal, but you have to start using our search and Google business profiles. And you'll see YouTube videos in there too a lot of times. I don't know. People have sent me, Juan and others have sent me ChatGPT results with YouTube videos. I haven't, and I don't do a ton of searching and stuff in ChatGPT, so I don't know if it serves up Instagram videos and other things too, but for sure YouTube videos are being seen more in ChatGPT searches. So a lot of Google going on there between the two. And the last couple things here, this was on Sterling Sky's YouTube one of the last videos, with a guest from the Transparency Company, and they help people with reputation management, kind of higher level reputation management company. They do a lot of research into, and I think they have some proprietary AI on how to detect and analyze bad reviews, fake reviews, either fake good ones or fake bad ones, and help people get rid of them. For people like us, it doesn't happen a ton, so you usually don't go to a company like that because it would cost too much, not really worth it. But if you're some big company, or not even big, just a medium-sized local business with, couple thousand reviews as a HVAC company or something, they got bad actors in those kinds of businesses and get bad reviews, pay people to give bad reviews, or the competitors just giving bad reviews or whatever. So they help companies like that really have to combat this stuff. So they were a guest on Sterling Sky with Joy Hawkins. She's one of the main gurus I follow, Joy Hawkins, for anybody that wants to follow her. Reviews, he said, reviews are under, and this all makes sense, reviews are under more scrutiny in the first few weeks. So right after they're posted, Google's kind of like not trusting that review as much, even if it does allow it to show on your Google business profile. So if you get a bad review, a fake review, just a bad review, you can't get removed if it's just a real bad review. That is what it is. But if it is a fake or fraudulent or a competitor fake review or something, or there's profanity or something in it, not safe to the public, or whatever the other parameters are, if you are trying to legitimately get it removed, you want to do that immediately, and you go in there and report it. You don't want to, they also said, you don't want to put a help ticket in, because likely it will take longer and you'll just get a canned reply back that is a no reply email. So you can't like reply to it and ask questions or do anything with it. So what they said was to report it, and pretty easy to report it. I think you can only do it on mobile. In Google Maps, you'd go to the review. You might be able to do it on desktop. Maybe only the user's local guides you can report on mobile. But anyway, you go to that review. You can click the three dots. I think you can share it. If it's your review, you would be able to edit it, and you could report it. And then you click report, and then you select the reason for reporting it. So that's what you would want to do. You could even get other people to report the same review for the same reasons. More people reporting the same thing probably helps you. So you want to report it. And then they said after 3 days, you can use the tool they provide to then take further steps. And I don't do this a lot. Again, I'm usually working with realtors and people, not those companies that are kind of doing hardcore stuff. There's not a lot of instances. But they said you want to do the reporting, and then after the 3 days, do that and not put a help ticket in. The help ticket will kind of get you nowhere, or maybe get you somewhere very slowly. So once a review is posted, under more scrutiny in the first few weeks. So if you're going to report it immediately in the first couple weeks. They said older, bad or fraudulent reviews are very, very hard to get removed. So you want to do it right away. And then, and not reply to it. So you do want to reply to bad reviews, but not in those first few weeks, because that probably gives it some kind of legitimacy in the system. So report it. Try to get it removed and everything. Take all the steps right away at the beginning. And then after, they said 3 weeks, I'll say a month. After a few weeks or so, if you have no luck getting the review removed, then you would reply to it. And they said be truthful, just like everybody else says. You don't want to be snippy or anything. If it's clearly a fraudulent review or something, you can say, sorry, I don't remember working with you. I think this is fraudulent. The language they used was even kind of like talking straight to the person that's reading it next, which is who it's written for anyway. He was saying, customers out there, something like that. Future customers, this was not an actual business experience. We strive to blah, 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 blah. And then at the end, it does say, but if by some chance this is an actual review, please reach out to us. We, again, strive for the perfect customer satisfaction and want to make it right, and still gracious. So they do kind of both things. They say what it is. And again, I wouldn't be overly snippy, just kind of say, this isn't what it appears to be, and state what it is. And then also put a little thing at the end that by some chance, if it's not, we always want to make things good, blah, blah, blah. So after a month, maybe then you would reply with something gracious. And then you don't, so I think that's all the news I got. Anybody have any questions about any of that stuff? 9:57, perfect timing. Let me see if there's anything in the chat. Oh, Jackie did say she was leaving. All right. Yeah. If last thing I'll say before I close it out, if there are any realtors up in the house that want to move there, Krista Lorenzo and my's podcast, Kristen Rapoli is on it tomorrow night. It airs on Thursdays at 8 p.m. For now, I don't know if I like that time or not yet, but that's what it is right now. Thursdays at 8 p.m. It streams as if it is live, but we record it, and then it streams later. You can stream pre-recorded content via StreamYard. So it's not as nerve-wracking as you think it might be, but it does air as if it's kind of live. But anyhow, if you want to be on there, lots of episodes under my belt. Krista, this last episode we recorded, I felt like was the best. It takes a while, especially with a guest, to kind of like vibe, or with a new host to vibe, and like when talk, who talks, what the tendencies of each other, just kind of work things out. This last episode, I really felt great about it. And both of us are getting better at kind of the parts that we do and whatever, and just the vibe Very good. So please come on the show if you haven't already. We just interview real estate agents from around the world about their area. It's very, very easy. Monique, who dropped out, I think she was in the room. Monique just filmed with us. And as I promised, after it was over, she said that was fun and easy, which is what everybody says. Everybody thinks it's going to be hard, but it's not. So please join us. That link again is in the chat if you want to go in there, or just hit me up. I can send you a link to schedule a recording. So with that said, I'll close her out. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Peace out.